My name is Afua Hagan. I'm from the British Blacklist, and I'm here to interview the wonderful Cynthia Erivo on Luther, the Fallen Sun. Cynthia, it's great to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm still a bit shook from watching the film, I must admit. I'd like forgotten how gruesome Luther can be.
Yeah.
And so I spent a lot of time doing this. There was a lot of this, a lot of this. There was a lot of that, but I absolutely loved it.
Good,
Um,
good.
were you a fan of the series before you got involved with the Luther verse?
I had binge watched everything, and I was really excited. And it's sort of like one of those like British like stalwarts. It's like the thing that is it's really us, and I loved the idea that I could be a part of something that felt like it was very very special, bit heritage, you know.
Yeah, definitely. But was it intimidating to join such like an iconic, such an established series that was making this long anticipated, long awaited jump
Uh-huh.
to a movie?
I don't know that it was intimidating. I think I'm a glutton for punishment, so I was really excited by it. I was really thrilled by the idea that I could join something that had been going for so long, and I was really excited to work with Idris and with Andy. I thought it was going to be a really lovely time, and I was right. Yeah.
What was it about the script to Luther Fallen Sun that attracted you to it?
I think I loved that there was sort of like the question of how far you can go uh, to get justice. I think that with my character particularly, she has this propensity to lean towards the light. It's very much like everything is either black or white, it's good or evil, and that's where you meet her. But she has to learn, and you watch her learn that sometimes the situation calls for something different, and that means that her moral compass has to be called into question, and she also has to reckon with the fact that sometimes there's a gray area. And I think that I just love the idea that that's the journey she was going to go on, and I liked the way it was written. I liked that she was written with sort of like there was like a spikiness to her, but then there's a softness to her at the same time, and there is power within her presence, but she doesn't have to force it. I just loved it. It was really cool.
You talked about the grey areas and the sort of not everything is completely black and white, and
Hmm.
we've seen that with DCI John Luther through the
Yeah,
series, and you kind of become him. I mean, you take his job essentially
yeah,
because he's
yeah.
otherwise indisposed. I'm not here to give away spoilers,
Right.
but he's not around, so you're in his job. Um, did you take much inspiration from Idris Elba on how to step into that role? And of course, we see her having to juggle with the dark and the light and
Yeah,
having to cross those boundaries like John Luther did before
yeah,
her. So
yeah.
how did you take inspiration for that?
I think what I what I learned from her is that she wanted to do it the opposite way. I think there is like a very clear decision on her behalf that she will not do it the same way Luther did it. She will do it the right way. And I think that's sort of, or the right way, so she believes. And I think that that's where she starts. And that's, I think, where the inspiration is. Whatever he did, I won't do. Whatever he was doing, I'm not going to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this path because he took that path. And this is the way I'm going to do it. And this is the way we're going to get things done. Until she realizes that actually both their paths meet somewhere in the middle. And I think playing opposite him, they sort of have a really lovely, like, back and forth. For all intents and purposes, end up being really similar people. When push comes to shove and they need something done and the proper means don't work, other means have to come into play. And that's what happened for her as well. So I think I took inspiration from what he was in that she didn't want to do that. But then when you're in the same space, you sort of feed off each other. Yeah.
And they kind of come to an understanding, I
Yeah.
guess, to
Yeah.
be able to solve problems.
Yeah.
You've played such a range of characters in your career. Have you met a character like DCI Odette Raine before?
I've never met her before, and that's why I wanted to play her. That's kind of the remit for the roles I play. Have I met this person before? Do I know them? And would I want to have a conversation with them? And DCI Raine was that. I'd never met her before. I'd never seen anyone like her. I've never played anyone like her. And she just felt really different. Even just in my body, she felt different. The way she moves is just different to the other characters. And it was just fun to play a completely different person. Yeah.
Andy Serkis joins the cast. He is our perfect maniac villain with
Yeah.
his ever-changing eye color.
Yeah.
What was it like working and filming with him?
Great. He's so sweet. He's so kind and funny and gentle. He's like the complete opposite of his character, which I think is all the more discerning. I think he is a brilliant, brilliant actor, but is equally a brilliant person. So it was just really nice. And every time I've seen him since then, he's just been lovely and supportive and jovial and nice. Yeah.
Yeah, unlike his character.
Very unlike his character.
Very unlike. There's some pretty intense scenes that you film in Norway with your daughter, Anya, who's played by Lauren Ojifo. Tell me about filming those scenes. I mean, it's the first time Luther has been seen outside London, number one, but really, really intense and such incredible landscape. So tell me a bit about that.
It was amazing. There's that one part of the scene where we sort of climb up a hill and we end up on a peak looking out into the distance, and there's just ice and snow everywhere. When we filmed that, even we were like, whoa, this is unbelievable. And then the scenes within that, they were just full on, physically, mentally, the whole lot. And I guess I live for those scenes. I live for the moments where we can really like dig in and get gritty, and our emotions are heightened and our physicality is heightened. Those are the moments that I think that we thrive as actors. So for me, I was sort of living the dream. I got to be in a beautiful place and I got to do really gritty, hard work, and I enjoyed that. Yeah.
I have to ask, are we going to see Odette Raine and her iconic quote? Luther has an iconic quote. You do too now.
She does.
You do now too.
Yeah.
Are we going to see you back?
I would love to be back. So I hope so. I hope we see Odette again. I would think so. I would hope so. But I would play her in a heartbeat again.
Yeah. And I'd love to see you back too. Cynthia Erivo, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Afua.